Hi folks, Tony Knight, dog listener here, and this little audio is following on from the talk in Geelong that I did on Saturday. That was 16th of April. Thanks to everybody who came, and thanks for the nice comments. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. But as usual, we ran out of time, so I've got a few questions here that didn't get answered, which I'm going to answer right now for you. And looking at them actually, most of them actually fit into the same category, which makes it nice and neat. I'll read them and then I'll show you what I mean, okay? So I've got one that says, I'm following the 4 rules, but my dog is still being dominant, especially with new visitors. What can I do? Now I'm going to put that in with another one here, it says, during play, my 1-year-old lab chases and grabs onto other dogs, medium to large size, and the jowls and floppy cheek skin. So basically this dog is grabbing other dogs. How can I deter or stop it? Which I'm also going to lump in with a playmate continues to try and hump the Great Dane, my dog, during play dates, and then they try to lick each other as well. How do I stop? Now what we've got here is dogs trying to find out where they fit in the pack, but perhaps pushing it too far. Now with new visitors, of course, a dog doesn't know if these people are going to stay there forever, so they need to know where they fit in. Similarly with other dogs, they need to find out where they fit in. But if they go too far, if you can show the dogs that you're the leader, you can also show the dog that there are consequences to behaviour that you don't like. And in each of these cases, if you feel it's getting out of hand, then one thing you can do is you could put your dog away if possible, somewhere on its own. I mean, if you're out in the park or whatever, and the dogs are playing, then if you can just put the dog into the car, take it away from the situation. Or put it into another room, for example, with visitors. Wait for the dog to calm down and then bring the dog out again. Perhaps put the lead on the dog so you've got that instant control that we were talking about on Saturday. So you've got to understand that the dogs need to know their position, but they also need to be shown that there is a way of doing it. It's like when I was a kid, my mum would say to me and my sister, play nicely or go to your rooms. It's basically the same thing. There's nothing wrong. And also the thing is, when it comes to the dogs playing together, understand that there is a certain amount of communication. What may seem like aggression is not necessarily aggression, it's communication. But also, with a dog that chases and grabs onto other dogs, this is practicing in their minds, in their nature, practicing how to bring down prey. I say it often, but when my 2 dogs play, Prue will often grab Kez's legs and try and bring him down. But of course that's what you do in order to get food in the wild. It's genetically hardwired into their system to do these things. You can take charge if you feel it's going a bit too far. The other thing with the humping is that remember that one of the ways that they show who's dominant is by breeding. And humping is a way, and because you'll see males do it to each other and females doing it to each other, and people get the wrong idea and think the dog is gay. I remember reading an article in a New Zealand newspaper where this guy questioned his dog's sexuality because it was a girl that she cocked her leg to pee. So let's take away that idea that there's some sort of sexuality going on. What it is dominance when it comes to reproducing. So what you've got to do there is show the dog, well, if you do that, you could get the consequence of you lose the pack. So play nicely or be on your own. And of course they don't like to be on their own because they're pack animals. Now the humping thing actually leads to another question, which is my dog humps and destroys his bed. How can I stop this? Now again, I've seen dogs do this too. I remember one dog that by paying no attention to it, when it was trying to get attention and asking the owners to do it, and they were doing the right thing as well, this dog decided to take it out by doing some X-rated stuff to a Wellington boot. And so what we did is we closed the door so the dog couldn't see us anymore. With humping and destroying the bed, I would say, are there specific times the dog's doing it, and also what do you do in those specific times? And if you pay attention to the dog when it's doing it, of course you've given him a reason to do it. What I would do is temporarily take the dog's bed away, or if he's doing it and he's in sight of you, then walk away or shut the door. So what he realises is this behaviour gets you nowhere. In fact, it loses you the pack. And if that's the reason that he's doing it, he'll give that up pretty quick. But there's nothing wrong with perhaps taking away the bedding for a night, just to show him that if you misuse it, you lose it, and then giving it back to him another time and seeing how he reacts to that. There's one more question here, because those all kind of went nicely together. And it says, I've got an adult Maremma who is kennelled. When I arrive home, he barks incessantly and loudly and doesn't stop. How do I ignore him when he's kennelled a long way away and I'm conscious of the neighbours? Okay, what we've got to do here is understand that there's a certain amount of excitement when you come back. The dog's aware of it because the packs come back together. However, what I would do here is, because you're aware of the neighbours, maybe have a word with them beforehand and say, look, I'm going to do a little bit of work which is going to maybe take a couple of days, but what we're going to do is going to stop this barking sooner rather than later. I'm sure they'll be grateful for that. But what you do is, what I do with my dogs, for example, let me give you just a bit of background here. My dogs are in a crate at night. They feel nice and comfortable and they're nice and secure. Now, when I come down in the morning, I go to open the crate door. Now, Prue will get excited, and what I do is I just stand there without looking at them directly, without talking to them, and I wait for her to just relax a bit. When she's relaxed, then the door comes open. And then I open the front door, let them out to go for a pee, and then we're going to feed them. So what I want you to do here is you can be able to communicate with your dog by being in the dog's presence, but without actually communicating. So what I would do here is practice, when you come in, he's barking incessantly and loudly, is to make your appearance known, and it sounds like he's a long way away, so make it, the first place that he can see you, and just stand there and wait. Don't look at him directly, and wait for the barking to stop. Now, when the barking stops, take a few steps forward. Now, what I guarantee probably is going to happen is that he's going to start barking again, at which point you stop and you wait for him to be quiet, and you keep doing that until you arrive at his kennel. And the moment that he's quiet, you're going to open the door. Don't pay any attention to him, don't look at him, don't talk to him. But what he learns is being quiet gets him out of the kennel. And that's going to take a little bit of time at first, but if you remember when I was talking about the Great Dane in Munich, it took me 2 hours to get the dog 100 metres down the road at first. But then the time got less and less and less as I was consistent in my behaviour. So the other thing to bear in mind, of course, is to make sure that we do all the things that we talked about. If there's anything that you're not aware, you don't feel that we've got covered, because there are 4 areas directly relevant to you and your dogs, as I talked about regarding the wolf pack. We can get online. There are plenty of ways for us to teach you: home consultations, books, CDs, DVDs. There's people learn in different ways, and we've got that covered. So, hopefully everybody's happy with those questions. If you feel that I haven't answered your question, feel free to get in touch. www.tony-knight.co.uk. But I think you gave me your email addresses as well, so you've got means to get in touch with me. So once again, thanks for coming. I really enjoyed it. It was a great venue. And next for me is Easter in New Zealand, and do some filming for Channel 7, and then courses. I'm doing foundation course and advanced course over in Sydney in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. Should be really good. Okay, that's all from yours truly. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.